Luke, let's start with the injury and Kadeem Carey. Never want to see it. Gross. I don't want to see it again. I was driving when it happened, listening to you and Dave. Obviously he's not coming back. Devastating. He was a great fit here. What would you do? Would it be Frankie Hickson? Would it be Walter Fletcher, who doesn't know maybe they play a book as well? What would Luke Mullinder do?
Well, what I would do is I would go to my scouting depth chart that has the scenarios of who we're calling after a major injury to the current depth, and I'd call that guy. If it was me, I would call Walter Fletcher. I know what I'm getting in Frankie Hickson, and he's a good player. I like Walter Fletcher's game in this system a little bit more, though. So that's probably the direction that I would head. But again, Walter Fletcher might be getting offers somewhere. Who knows what that situation is looking like for him. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously a top tier back that you'd want in your program at some point. If it comes up, obviously.
Is there anything to the we're going to short go around here? We got to play Friday. Frankie would maybe there would be some continuity. He would know the playbook. Yada yada. Does that weigh into it at all?
Yes and no. I would assume that it's something that would be an advantage. But again, if Walter Fletcher or somebody else is out there, I would go there first. Again, Frankie Hickson's a good player. I know what I'm getting in Frankie. I really like Walter Fletcher's game too. So that's where I'd head. But you're right. There's always an advantage when somebody knows the playbook. Absolutely.
I woke up on Sunday and I looked at the score and I'm like, man, I felt like the Riders won that game by 21 points. Did you feel that? Yeah. Like it wasn't as close as what the score says.
No, it wasn't as close at all. I think that one of the things that you'd want to look at as a team, watching that game the day after or whatever, is simply, hey, look, how do we put the final nail in the coffin a lot earlier here, guys, right? Like, what are we letting a team hang around for that they had no business being in the game at any point with us? We should have just shut this down right away. And honestly, those are things that you continue to develop throughout the season. It's not something that's just inherently in a team where you can just slam the door on someone. But you're right, Barney. I mean, that game, you can throw all the cliches as a coach you want at it. Well, we want to play for 60 minutes, and that wasn't a full 60-minute effort because there was a little bit of time that expired there in the fourth quarter that we weren't at our best. Whatever messaging you want to bet, you want that team to be able to just slam the door on an opponent, because that's what you're going to have to do in the last third of the year, right? Those final 6 games are all about slamming doors. You got to be able to finish then. So it's something that you're going to need to build into it as you go on.
The big buzzword last week after Calgary came in here and beat us was out-physicaled. Words. What Riders flipped the script this time around? What did you see in the trenches?
Yeah, I thought they were a lot better. I mean, look at the offensive line. What was it? So I think that we were over 100 yards rushing. I can't remember Trevor Harris being hit a ton. I know he didn't get sacked, but not even hit a lot. That was big. I think that the defensive front for the Saskatchewan Roughriders did a lot better as well. There were spots where guys were getting knocked off the ball, but not as many. And I think that for the most part, I think that they did address the physical nature in which they want to roll out a game. So that was a good step. Now it's about consistency, right? Okay, look, guys, we know we can do this. I mean, we've done it for 5 out of the first 6 games of the year. How do we maintain that consistency? Because that's who they want to be, essentially, right? You're looking at an offense that is run first and build everything else that they're able to do off the run. Like even some of the play action throws, like look at how effective the play action pass is now that AJ Ouellette is getting rolling. Those linebackers, as soon as they see a run look, they're staying in. They're keying in on run. They're sucked up, and that gives you space to throw it over the top of them if they're slow to react, right? So if you're going to base everything you do off of having some success in the run game, you're going to need to be the more physical opponent all the time.
We haven't played the clip yet. We'll play it later this hour if we have time. But it was you talking to Trevor after the game, which we don't get, he's not a guest usually, but he had a great game. And the part that stood out to me, Luke, was him basically pointing out the shade that he gets thrown, that he's just a dink and dunk, just a short guy. And then he opened it up and went over top. I like that. I like that because he's a very straight and narrow guy. So for him to kind of say that, that kind of bugs him.
I don't think he's known as a dink and dunk guy. I think that the league just knows that Trevor Harris is going to get the ball out quickly. And that's not a bad thing at all, right? At all. There's QBs that hold the ball for too damn long, right? There's QBs that like it's not like he's known as a guy who's going to throw an interception at the wrong moment. I don't think he's known as a dink and dunk quarterback. I just think that teams know that if Trevor Harris sees somebody open, he's going to get him the ball quickly. The reason I think that he's having this success again is because they're a more balanced offense at the moment, right? If you don't have a running game, right? If you don't have a running game and you're pass first, you are going to probably get known as a dink and dunk because you're going to want to get those 5 and 6 yard bursts through the air, right? So you are going to be passing short. He's not a check down Charlie by any stretch of the imagination. I think that he's been having a good year, and again, they're just the things that they're doing, and especially when they're doing them well, they're hard to stop. So this offense, it's hard to stop.
Put your sports show kind of hat on here, and I like it. You're a straight shooter. You tell it like it is. What is going on with Nathan Rourke, man? Like, there were a lot of throws that were open. The pocket was clean. He did it's we didn't expect this, Luke. I don't think anybody expected it. And everyone, I know there's a lot of people going, well, they chose the wrong quarterback. Well, that's easy to say. Optics, you had to take Rourke last year. Anything that stands out to you why he is not looking as most people would have expected?
Well, you can't play Edmonton every week, right? Like, I think that, I think that, and that's not a slight, it's not a slight against Edmonton, but they've had tremendous success against Edmonton, right? You know what I mean? Well, no, it's just, they've had tremendous success against Edmonton. I think that you're right. I don't think he's the wrong quarterback for what, especially for what they want to do. They want to air it out. They want to get the ball to Justin McInnes. But he did miss a few key throws. We were talking about it on the broadcast, right? Like, hey, that needed to be better from him, and he's going to need to be better. You can't come in, you can't spend as much time as you did sort of, in the NFL and essentially just come back and have an organization lay out the red carpet for you. You need to produce, and he's going to eventually need to produce. So, and I think that obviously the jeers are heard a little bit louder because VA is looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league at the moment, right? Like, if you're BC, you're like, what the hell did we give up this? Look at VA, right? So that's probably where that's coming from. But he's got to be better, flat out. That was a big game. That was a game that could really sort of keep the West tight outside of Edmonton, obviously. But them losing that game, yeah, I mean, they're going to be able to point to a few opportunities that they missed, and some were directly from him. Like, it wasn't like he didn't have time to make some of these throws. Yeah. Some of them were rushed. But again, he's got to be better. I think he'll probably know and recognize that, and they got to keep moving forward. I'm not sure who they got next, but
Hamilton.
They got to start. Yeah. They got Hamilton. Well, that's not going to be easy. Bo Levi Mitchell and Kenny Lawler look like Moss and Brady right now. Like, crazy. Who will let this happen? Like, when we were like, oh yeah, Kenny Lawler going to Hamilton in the offseason, that's nothing. And now we're all like, we should never have let that happen. Someone should have vetoed this because this is ridiculous. They look great, man. I like watching. Yeah.
You didn't go Culpepper and Moss. He went Brady and Moss, so that's good because
Culpepper and Moss. No.
A rash is on
Brady and Moss. Brady would literally just wait for Randy to put his hand up in the air. Like, that's what he would do. He would drop back and wait for Randy to put his hand up in the air. If Randy didn't put his hand up in the air, he'd throw to someone else. But as soon as Randy did, he would just wing it. And next thing you know, and that's what Kenny Lawler's doing. They look great. And it's good for the CFL. It's good for the CFL to see big plays like that being made consistently.
That is so. But the last thing on Rourke, though, and you see it, he puts a lot of pressure on himself. He knows he's got to be better. He knows that he's the highest paid, QB. He knows all that, which is that pressure going to have an adverse, effect on him?
Oh, the problem I think with last game though is and now when you go in to look at the game before that game even started, right? What you saw out of BC and their wins was a really balanced team, but it was also a team, especially if you looked at the week before, that controlled the whole game. From the very start, they were not in control, right? The Riders went down. We played like they had a quick turnover off the punt, right? And they were down in the first quarter by like 17 right off the bat. So then you start rushing, and I was talking to Dave about it on the broadcast. Like, it's gonna be hard for the team not to start pressing right now. And so they got them out of their game plan too, to where the run game, for instance, like that whole second half, that was a non-running half essentially, right? It was a non-running back half for the BC Lions, and I don't think their offense is cut like
that. Sorry, Mike wasn't on. Brett Lawther, I said it. Hey, 4 for 4, controlled environment, confidence though, right?
Well, I don't think he kicked one over 40 yards either, though, right? Like, it's the large ones that we're worried about, right? We need the large ones, but yeah, 4 for 4 from Brett Lawther is awesome, right? Again, anytime you can get any type of momentum as a player, anytime you start doing things well, the nice part about it, when you're in that mode, when you're in the I'm kicking well mode, or I'm tackling well mode, you get to lean on your routine that you've been rolling out through the week, right? So you get to, on Tuesday, for instance, on day 2 or day 1, you're able to sort of sit there and be like, well, this is what I did here a little bit extra last week, right? And it led to the 4 for 4 performance. Hey, I'm gonna skip going to Earl's on Wednesday, for instance, right? Like, I'm not saying Brett Lawther.
That used to be your spot.
No. That was Tad Cornegay's spot. Don't put me in that. Don't. I still live in Regina. I don't want to be associated with that on Wednesday night. No. So again, you get to take the success that you've had from the week and say, okay, this is how it felt. This is what I did. Let's duplicate that. So now you just got to keep stacking.
Okay, couple more, and then we'll let you go. Attendance. They said 29,000. When I watched the game, saw the clips, the upper deck was empty. Am I a crazy person? It didn't look like 29.
No, they had the upper deck. The upper deck was open, period. So that justifies them open. Like, okay. The reason they had the upper deck open already, regardless, is because they had the people in the lower bowl. I thought it was a well-attended game. I'm not going to shake my head at BC. I've been there. I played there when I was younger, when they were filling that whole stadium. I played in the makeshift stadium that they used to have that was like near the ocean. It felt like, I don't know, my son and his friends built it. It wasn't very good,
We had some technical difficulty here. I don't think it's him. I don't think he touched anything.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just saying, and the reason why it was so packed there is because there's a lot of fans from Rider Nation there, which is awesome. BC has a huge contingent of Rider Nation fans. Like, there's a massive contingent of Rider fans in BC, and I love it, man, because they're always. We were walking in BC here the other day, and the guys walking by you, they see you, and they're like, "Go Riders!" Right? It's a great place to play.
Okay, and then the last thing, Dave was talking about this in the prep meeting this morning. You guys had a tough look and call because with the construction they're doing there, you couldn't see one of the end zones or part of the end zone.
No, we could see it. I think it was the TSN guys that can't see it right now. They're doing massive construction. Yeah, they're doing, it's all for the World Cup, right? But they're building essentially another media side on the opposite side of the stadium. They're expanding the one that they have. So yeah, like the amenities were all kind of just spread out. You can tell they're putting a lot of effort into World Cup, and rightfully so. I'm pumped that it's going. And because of the turmoil that is the United States of America at the moment, it sounds like we might be getting some more games for the World Cup. So I'm pumped about that.
Exactly. What an event that's going to be. 26 degrees.
It's going to be awesome, man.
26 degrees on Thursday, sunny skies. So that's a good pool day for you, getting ready for Friday night. Yeah, that's a hint.
Is that what it's going to be? Is that okay? Yeah. Well, you know what? I owe you pizza, so maybe we make it happen. I'll shoot you a text. There you go.
Have a good week, buddy.
All right, man. See you guys later.
See you there.